If you've ever experienced hot flashes related to menopause, you know that they are not fun. In this video, I share the diet-related conditions that make hot flashes worse, as well as the eating and supplement strategies that have been found to cool down these internal fires. Hi, my name is Dr. Becky from drbeckyfitness.com. I'm a college instructor of the science of nutrition, and I'm a 49-year-old woman who knows firsthand how uncomfortable hot flashes can be. Through diet and one supplement in particular, which I will share in this video, I have been able to cool things down considerably. And while diet alone might not take your hot flashes away completely, it can make them manageable. And a nice little bonus, the diet changes that work for hot flashes also work for weight loss after menopause. So hot flashes, they've been studied a lot, yet science really hasn't figured out what causes them. The only thing that seems to be certain is that they are related to the natural reduction of hormones that happen around menopause, which on average occurs at the age of 51. Now, notice that I said around menopause. The time of onset is going to be different for different women, with some women getting their first hot flashes before their periods become irregular. So hot flashes can be a surprising and even troubling event, but while they are uncomfortable, they are harmless. And even if you don't do anything to try to affect them, they tend to run their course in about 7 years. Now, having said that, I don't know if waiting 7 years is acceptable to you. It wasn't for me, so if you're like me, you want to be proactive and make any changes that you can to make them stop. Now, in 2017, there was a study that evaluated 151 postmenopausal women to figure out if there was any link between their metabolic health, like their diet health, and the severity of their hot flashes. The study found that those with the most severe hot flashes were insulin resistant, leptin resistant, and had lower than normal levels of adiponectin, which is a protein that protects against inflammation. Now, this study shows us how diet and hot flashes are linked. Insulin resistance, leptin resistance, inflammation, they're all conditions caused by a poor diet, namely a diet that's high in sugar, refined carbs, grains, and processed foods. Now, I have videos on insulin resistance and inflammation on my YouTube channel if you'd like to learn more about those conditions. But for our purposes here, it's important to note that these conditions are caused by a poor diet, but they are reversible and corrected by a good diet. So what is a good diet? Well, a diet to relieve hot flashes should be aimed at curing insulin and leptin resistance and reducing inflammation. One thing you can do is eat whole foods and avoid processed foods. So eat fresh or frozen vegetables, not processed veggie chips that you get in a bag. Choose lower glycemic whole fruits like blueberries over blueberry muffins. Snack on raw almonds instead of an energy bar that might be filled with added sugars and unhealthy vegetable oils. These whole foods give your body vitamins and minerals which act as antioxidants that protect your cells and in turn allow them to function properly. They are also free of preservatives and additives that can cause inflammation inside your body. Another diet change you can make to overcome the metabolic disorders that make hot flashes so hot is to eat a high fiber diet. The average person takes in about 15 grams of fiber a day. That's about half of the amount I recommend. A daily diet that consistently hits 30 grams of fiber or more keeps your blood sugar and insulin levels low, which puts you on the road to recovery from insulin resistance and leptin resistance. So what you should do is look for foods with the best fiber to carb ratio, non-starchy vegetables, beans, avocados, nuts, seeds. These have good fiber to carb ratios. And what would those ratios be? Well, a cup of leafy greens has just under 1 gram of fiber and only 1 gram of carbohydrate. That's almost a 1-to-1 ratio, and you really can't get much better than that. A tablespoon of chickpeas has 2 grams of fiber and 8 grams of carbohydrates. That is a 1-to-4 ratio, which is still a good ratio, and that will be a food that digests slowly, causes a nice controlled rise in blood sugar and insulin, which is what you want to overcome insulin resistance and get your body back to a point where it's once again responsive and sensitive to insulin. Another thing you can do is include healthy fats. It's another important step for correcting metabolic disorders that make hot flashes severe. Not only do healthy fats help keep your insulin and energy levels steady, they also shut down hunger and cravings, which you will need, especially at first as you're training your body to move away from those quick energy peaks and then crashes that you get when you eat too much sugar and refined carbs. Good whole foods, again, they're going to be your nuts and seeds, your avocados, coconut oil, fatty fish like wild-caught salmon, freshwater trout, sardines and anchovies that you can throw on your salad. These fatty fish that I just mentioned are also low in mercury, so they are safe to eat on a regular basis. Now, let me also add something about soy products. I'm often asked about soy products for menopausal women, so I want to share some thoughts on those foods like soybeans and edamame and tofu and soy milk. Soy is classified as a phytoestrogen, which literally means plant estrogen. The chemical structure of soy is similar to that of the estrogen that's inside of you. So when you eat it, it acts like a weak estrogen inside of you. Now, there's some evidence that eating soy foods helps relieve menopause hot flashes, but the jury is still out on the overall health of these plant foods. And in my opinion, the problems with soy-derived foods are many. The first problem has to do with how they're grown. Soybeans are heavily contaminated with pesticides, and they are one of the most genetically modified foods, at least here in the United States. Soy itself contains goitrogens, which are substances that depress the thyroid function. Think of a goiter, right? And soybeans are high in phytic acid, which is a substance that can block your body's ability to absorb essential minerals like calcium and magnesium and copper and iron and zinc. So for these reasons, I do not recommend soy products unless they are organically grown and consumed only in small amounts. But there are other phytoestrogens that might help you reduce your intensity of your hot flashes. Personally, I have increased my intake of chickpeas and flax seeds, which are two foods that have relatively powerful phytoestrogens. If you want a recipe for roasted chickpeas or garbanzo beans, which is also a name for them, I'll link to that recipe that I use here in the video. They work really nicely as a flavorful topping on salad or even as a high fiber snack. But I will tell you that the most dramatic difference in hot flashes for me came when I started adding maca powder to my diet. Maca is a Peruvian herb that has been proven to increase estrogen in menopausal women, and I will tell you that for me, there was an almost immediate reduction in my hot flashes and night sweats when I started adding a teaspoon of this herb to my daily diet. But it's important to note that there is no such thing as a magic pill. I added maca powder to my already healthy diet. If you eat a poor diet that doesn't meet your body's basic nutritional needs, I will tell you a supplement is not going to make a difference. If you need help crafting a diet that will relieve menopausal symptoms, then I invite you to check out my weight loss coaching program. We have a lot of members who are in the menopause age range. And if you found this video helpful, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will be back soon with more videos. Thanks.